Singapore has joined the United States and 11 other countries to condemn Houthi attacks against commercial vessels sailing through the Red Sea. They're calling for an immediate end to what has been described as, quote, illegal attacks and for the release of unlawfully detained vessels and crew members. In a joint statement, the countries said the attacks are unacceptable and destabilizing. They stressed that there is no lawful justification for intentionally targeting civilian shipping and naval vessels. The countries also say the attacks are an international problem demanding collective action. The situation in the Red Sea has forced major shipping companies to reroute their ships, leading to added costs and delays to delivery. A Singapore-flagged container ship owned and operated by Denmark was among the vessels attacked. An expert joins us next to give us more on this. Dr. James Dorsey is Senior Fellow at the Middle East Institute at NUS. Dr. Dorsey, what is your take on Singapore signing this declaration along with 11 other countries?
It's not surprising. Singapore has a vested interest in the free flow of maritime shipping, which clearly is being threatened by the Houthi attacks in the Red Sea, even if the attacks are limited exclusively to Israel-related vessels. And so it comes as really no surprise. It's in Singapore's interest, and it's joining an international coalition.
That said, there are other countries, for example, other countries in ASEAN that you could say also have vested interest in the free flow of maritime trade, but they have not signed on. Does Singapore calculate the cost of perhaps standing out in a regional grouping?
Obviously, basically, most countries in the world have a vested interest in free maritime shipping, and the Gulf lanes are among the most important shipping lanes in the world. I think Singapore, in some ways, has a particular interest because its economy, both in terms of the economy itself, as well as being a logistics and transportation hub, is particularly dependent on free flow of and safe and secure shipping.
Right. This statement has warned. I mean, a senior Biden administration official has said has declined to give details on what actually will happen should the Houthis violate what is suggested or what is asked for in this text. But it says Houthis should not anticipate another warning from the U.S. and those who have signed on to this statement. What actually can they do should the Houthis choose to ignore what is suggested in this statement?
There's little doubt that the Houthis will ignore the warning. Now, the Houthis do not want to see an expansion of the Gaza war regionally, but there is a lot of mileage for them in being seen to be supporting Hamas in the Gaza Strip. And that's what the attacks on Israel-related shipping are intended to do. The United States has already demonstrated that it's willing to use military force by shooting down Houthi projectiles, as well as recently drowning 3 Houthi vessels in which 10 Houthi fighters were killed. The risk here is that if the Houthis continue to threaten shipping, that then the United States would target, for example, missile factories in Yemen itself, or missile launching pads in Yemen itself.
Of course, a lot of concern every day pretty much about whether the war in Gaza might spread to other fronts. So Iran-backed groups such as Hezbollah, what happened, the twin blast in Iran yesterday, and of course, Houthi, that group is generally known to be backed also by Iran. Do you expect military action given that these proxy groups are involved against the U.S. and its allies?
Well, I think we've got to differentiate here. If one looks at the speech yesterday by Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah, he was very cautious despite using harsh words. And he did promise a response to the killing of the Hamas official in Beirut, but it was very clear that he is limited by domestic factors in Lebanon itself. And with regard to the Hamas response to this, this is most likely going to lead to attacks on Israeli targets outside of Israel, which means embassies, diplomatic personnel, and so forth. And at the same time, I think what you will see in the Red Sea is the Houthis continuously targeting Israel-related vessels, and that will up the ante for the United States and its allies in the coalition.
Thanks for those insights, Dr. James Dorsey, Senior Fellow at the Middle East Institute at NUS.